Welcome to a Plus Health Life channel. We discuss the ways to fulfill your life with more quality and inform you on ways to get to your life goals with less effort. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Best things to do in Stamford. An hour out of New York from Penn Station, Stamford has an urban, big city feel downtown, where 9 Fortune 1000 companies are headquartered. Head south and you'll hit Long Island Sound and almost 20 miles of shoreline with waterside parks and beaches. And if you go north, Stamford feels like more of a New England small town, and attractions like the Stamford Museum and Bartlett Arboretum hide amid expansive deciduous forests snaked with trails. Downtown Stamford brims with life for its bars, restaurant, cinemas and the Stamford Town Center Mall, while Broadway musicals, big-time comedians and famous musicians take the stage at the fabled Palace Theatre. Let's explore the best things to do in Stamford. 1. Stamford Museum and Nature Center. Deep in the woodland of North Stamford, the Stamford Museum and Nature Center mixes art with nature, history and agricultural sciences. It all sits in 118 acres on the grounds of the half-timbered Bindle Mansion, built in a mock Tudor style in the late 1920s. In this fine building you can look around a diversity of galleries for contemporary art exhibitions, the natural history of New England, antique farming implements, totem poles, vintage pedal cars, prints by the likes of Warhol and Dali and work by prominent local artists like Gutzon Borglum and Ruben Nakian. Outside is a glorious sculpture collection and the 10-acre Heckscher Farm, celebrating New England's rural heritage, and keeping a range of heritage breeds and non-indigenous species like alpacas, burros and llamas. The Overbrook Nature Center meanwhile has interactive wildlife exhibits and is served by trails that wind through 80 acres of parkland and connect with the neighboring Bartlett Arboretum. Don't miss the Edith and Robert Graham Otter Ponds, keeping playful North American river otters. 2. Bartlett Arboretum and Gardens. A botanical attraction described as a living classroom, the Bartlett Arboretum holds more than 3,500 specimens planted in 12 different gardens close to the Stamford Museum. Most of what you'll see has been gathered from New England, but there are examples from the Caribbean, Africa, Mexico and the southwestern United States. The earliest of these were planted more than a century ago, while the most recent have been here more than 50 years. Take a wander in the Frank Bartlett Heisinger Conifer Garden and the Melquist Garden for its azaleas, rhododendrons and Japanese andromeda, all under lofty hardwood trees. Woodland Treasures is brimming with more than 100 species in less than an acre, while the Alice Smith Fern Alley is flanked by 60 kinds of fern, and the quaint cottage garden is arranged like a British garden from the 1700s. 3. Philip Johnson Glass House. There's an icon of modern architecture in New Canaan, a simple drive east of the Stamford Museum. A single open-plan room with glass walls on a slender wooden frame and brick base, the Glass House, 1949, was designed by Philip Johnson, and is a study in minimalism, geometry, reflection and transparency. The house's only concealed element is the bathroom, which is housed in a brick cylinder. The Glass House was designed as a weekend retreat for Johnson, who used the property for almost 60 years until he passed away in 2005. You can take an informative guided tour via the Visitor Center in downtown New Canaan, which entails a shuttle and a 3/4-mile walk through the estate and a visit to some of the other structures on the grounds, like the brick house where Johnson's guests would stay. 4. First Presbyterian Church. Wallace Harrison, 1895 to 1981, who took part in the construction of the Rockefeller Center, designed another local modernist masterpiece. The First Presbyterian Church, also known as the Fish Church for how its outline evokes the fish symbol from early Christianity, was ready in 1958 and is still a wonder more than 60 years later. Inside, the stained glass windows are vast and made up of 20,000 pieces of faceted glass, illustrating the crucifixion on the right side and then the resurrection on the left. In front of the massive Visser Roland pipe organ is a wooden cross, just shy of 10 meters tall and clad with wood from Canterbury Cathedral. 5. Cove Island Park. In the very southeast of Stamford, Cove Island is the site of a 19th-century factory manufacturing bleached minerals, dye extracts and licorice. The mill was razed by a famous fire in 1919 and over the next few decades was developed into a park. It would be easier to list the things that Cove Island Park doesn't have, but the main draw in summer is the pair of sandy beaches. These are accompanied by a children's playground, a sweeping lawn area, a cycling path, a mile-long walking trail and a state-of-the-art nature center. Anglers can cast their line along the secluded rocky shoreline, while there are spots along the Cove River and at Holly Pond where you can spot birds. The park is listed as an important bird area by the Audubon Society, with more than 287 species recorded. 6. Cummings Park. Right on Long Island Sound. The 80-acre Cummings Park mixes green space and sports facilities with a boardwalk, pavilions, fishing pier, snack bar and Cummings Beach. As well as a raft of tennis and basketball courts, Cummings Park has 4 softball fields and a public marina and boat launch. The beach is sheltered by the little islands on Westcott Cove and is just the place to pass a few quiet hours in the summer sun. Just behind is a hill that becomes sledding central after winter snowfall. The park is named for Homer Stilley Cummings, 1870 to 1956, former mayor of Stamford who became Attorney General under FDR and used to come for walks along this shore. 7. Mill River Park. The green banks of the Rippowam River are the boundary between Stamford's west side and downtown. Mill River Park opened in 2013 after a 6-year restoration project on the river. As part of the project, this space was joined to Stamford's Kosciuszko, Scalzi and Southfield parks via a greenway. At Mill River Park there are riverside paths on both banks, occasionally departing from the water to wind through undulating greenery. There's an ice rink in winter, but the park's headline attraction has to be the charming David and Marion Nissen Carousel, which has 30 handcrafted animals, from horses to a rabbit, seal and frog. 8. Palace Theatre. The place to catch a live show in downtown Stamford is this magnificent Art Deco venue that has been around since 1927. Seating 1,580, the Palace Theatre started out as a stage for vaudeville, then spending more than 40 years up to 1983 as a movie theater, before reverting to live performances. Come for off-Broadway musicals, touring recording artists, concerts by the Stamford Symphony Orchestra, top-tier comedians, Alec Baldwin in 2019, magic shows and performances for children. The Palace Theatre is part of the Stamford Center for the Arts, and sits 4 blocks from its partner, the Rich Forum, where talk shows like Jerry Springer have been recorded. 9. Half Full Brewery. You might be surprised to discover a hip craft brewery dwelling in this nondescript industrial building on Homestead Avenue. Half Full's tap room pours the brand's wide choice of beers, among them a range of IPAs, a blonde ale, an ever-changing pale ale, refresh, a coffee porter and several fruit-infused sour beers. Food isn't served here, but there are regular visits by food trucks or you can order a pizza. To find out of what Half Full is all about, you can order a flight, and of course you'll be able to buy cans to go. And unlike many spots like this, kids and dogs are welcome, provided they don't drink any beer. 10. The Ferguson Library. With a handsome ionic portico at the corner of Broad Street, Stamford's public library is a pillar of the community and one of the largest in Connecticut. The Ferguson Library's main building is in a Georgian Revival style and dates to 1910. Whether you're a permanent resident or just passing through, there are a few reasons to keep the library in mind. There are movie screenings for kids every Friday, as well as a program of workshops, discussions and all kinds of children's activities. Friends of Ferguson Library runs a used bookstore here, and there's a Starbucks branch just next door. 11. Fort Stamford Park. A peaceful spot with a story to tell, Fort Stamford Park holds the 340-year-old earthworks of an American fort from the Revolutionary War. This location was no coincidence, as Fort Stamford had clear views to the Long Island Sound and Mianus River. Also on the site is the Goodbody Garden, landscaped in a formal style with a stone-pillared pergola, sunken garden and Italianate balustrades. Spring and early summer are fabulous here, when the magnolias and peonies are in flower and the butterflies are out in force. 12. Mianus River Park. Following the course of the namesake river along the Stamford-Greenwich boundary, the Mianus River Park is in almost 400 acres of calming nature for hiking, jogging, birding, fishing and mountain biking. In winter you can even go cross-country skiing here. On moraines that climb sharply from the riverbanks there's a large swath of hardwood forest, wetlands, rock formations, a cave and a wildflower garden. The Mianus River flows for 20 miles before it reaches Long Island Sound, and provides water to some 100,000 people in the Stamford-Greenwich area. 13. Curtin Call. To take the pulse of Fairfield County's art scene you can see what's on at this award-winning producing theater, which puts on 12 or more shows throughout the year. Curtin Call is a community enterprise, run mostly by volunteers, but with professional values. There are 2 venues at one location: the 184-seat Kefskin Theater and the 100-seat Dressing Room Theater, a cabaret-style space. When we wrote this article in summer 2019 Greece, Andrew Bergman's Social Security, Matilda and Much Ado About Nothing were on the program. Curtin Call also provides a creative outlet for the young people of the Stamford area, with writing, acting, improv, comedy and dance classes and workshops. 14. Stamford Observatory. On the grounds of the Stamford Museum and Nature Center, the compact but fascinating Stamford Observatory goes back more than 60 years. Under the dome is a 22-inch research telescope, acquired during the space race towards the beginning of the Cold War. Used to study variable stars, this instrument has captured more than 1,300 photos of star fields since it was commissioned in 1967. You can come to take part in a public viewing session every Friday night between 2000 and 2200, or catch one of the regular lectures. When you visit there's also a collection to check out, including a meteorite discovered in Argentina and rotating star chart. 15. West Beach. For a family day out in summer. West Beach is a little way down from Cummings Park on Westcott Cove. What you'll find is a pleasing bend of clean, pale sand, lapped by sheltered Long Island Sound waters. There's a children's playground right by the sand, as well as bathrooms, while lifeguards are on duty at peak times in summer. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.